Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How's everything? Where are you at?
I'm in Bushwick right now, my studio.
Nice. On this rainy night, have you been outside?
Yeah, it's the worst. It's really It's winter, and it's so dark so early.
I know. I am here. I'm at the space. We're installing. Thanks for interviewing me here.
Looks so good.
How's it going in the studio? What are you working on?
It's going well. I'm continuing a project that you know, where I'm working with the archival material of the collection, and I'm creating these photo booth backdrops, these dreamy landscapes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. So a continued body of work, more or less.
Yes. I'm continuing something that I started last year at some residencies.
Which residency?
At you.
Oh, at Wasaic.
I started this project at Wasaic in the winter, and I'm kind of expanding on it now.
Did you work on it in Vermont too? I remember you did all those residencies
I did
sequentially.
3 residencies in a row.
Uh-huh.
I was at Mass Mocha, and then I spent 3 beautiful months in the dead of winter in Wasaic, upstate New York. And then I went to Vermont Studio Center in April.
Was it snowing at all 3 residencies?
Yes, it was.
That's like the most prolonged northeastern winter ever.
But so much better than the dirty city snow, so I didn't mind.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Do you have any upcoming shows or projects with this new body of work?
Any upcoming shows? No, some of them just came back from a show in North Adams. And some of these were also up at the summer show in Mosaic, and I've had some work from a different project in some books recently, so that's what I've had going on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I generally know a fair bit about your practice, but can you tell me more about kind of how you got into photography, how that extends into curating and all that jazz?
Sure. Well, the short version is I went to grad school for photography, and while I was in grad school, this is in New York, I got a job archiving a massive collection of vernacular photos. That means like snapshots that you might find at a thrift store or a flea market. And I've been working for this collector for a few years now, and working with an archive like that with a collector has sort of crept into my own work. And so that is where my work kind of intersects with some found material. So that is the kind of stuff that I'm most excited about, combining my images with images that already exist out in the world.
Right.
And then while I was on these residencies, I made some great friends who are not in the photo world, and that's been excellent, including 2 out of 3 of my studio mates. So 2 of them I met at Mass Mocha, and one of them is a glass artist, and the other is a painter. And so together we've kind of been pooling our collective ideas and resources and coming up with little pop-up shows, and we're probably going to put together a proposal for spring break. So
awesome.
Yeah, where it is now.
Yeah, that's busy. That's amazing that you found such a strong community at the residencies, and that's continued and bled over into your life in New York.
It's the best thing ever. It was unexpected. I didn't really come out of grad school with a lot of very close relationships with other photographers. So to have like half a dozen people that I'm still in contact with and enjoy seeing on a personal level, but also within the art world, going to shows and going to openings and then working on projects together is the best thing. So
Right.
yeah, everyone go on residencies.
For sure. And you do a lot of stuff in the city too. I mean, you're pretty active. That's part of your day job, and I know you do a lot of other stuff in the photo world.
Yeah, I'm kind of constantly moving around. So the archiving job is not full time. So that means I have to fill in the rest of the time with other freelance work. So I work for a couple of collectors. I'm actually curating a photo show for a nonprofit organization that's not in the art world. So that's been interesting to sort of bridge the gap between the art world and people who are kind of very new to seeing and looking at art. And then, trying to get to the studio as much as possible.
Right. And while you do use a lot of anonymous images, I remember from an earlier body of work, you used a lot of personal family photographs as well, right? From your family's time in Israel.
Totally, yeah. So some of the projects, I'm kind of mining my own archive, or the images that exist within my family collection. So trying to find connecting themes and threads between disparate images that might come from different places. So that's kind of where my interest is.
As an artist right now, do you think that this is like a way to handle like all the information, like to process it as is, opposed to fabricating new imagery and material? It kind of seems like that's something.
Yeah, I think that what I like about working with the anonymous photos is that they are, not only are they from maybe simpler times, but there's also a lot of kind of escape in them. And what I'm trying to do with some of these backdrops that I'll show you later are, is to kind of create this fantasy out of existing images, because everything that's happening in reality is so bad.
For sure. Who are some artists that are really inspirational and influential to you?
I am very drawn to artists who also work with collections. So Louise Lawler had that incredible MoMA last year. People who are kind of pointing their attention towards museum collections and how institutions archive artists' work. I had a teacher in grad school, Penelope Imbrico, who is an incredible artist, and she mines most of her material from the internet. And Barbara Bloom, who, if you've never heard of, you should check her out. She's I think she's in her 70s now, but she she goes to museums, uses their archives to recreate these shows. She basically and create these really amazing setup that you would very specifically like, Hilliary.
Nice. I'll have to check her out. I love that.
All link the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like how you have a bunch of strong women in your focus.
Totally.
For sure. What's something that you've seen lately that has really gotcha?
I went to see a show at Ossia Geisberg, and I forgot the artist's name, Marjorie something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was she was making these collages with photo backgrounds and then attaching ceramics onto them, so they were like photo ceramic paintings. They were really cool.
Yeah.
That was a thing. That was a good show. And I went and saw the Carrie Lee Schneeman retrospective at PS1 years ago, and that was incredible and overwhelming.
Was that the video show?
It's a whole retrospective, so it's a lot of video, but it's painting. It's called kinetic painting, and it's all of her life's work, including documentation and photos and sculpture and documentation of her performances from over the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And like this huge collage, this huge grid of photos of her making out with her cat.
That sounds really good.
I recommend it.
Okay, on my to-do list.
Yeah, totally.
Do you hear this crazy noise?
I do hear it.
Sorry.
Listen, multitasking, gotta get it done.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the show. It's gonna be this like amazing coming together of a lot of people that we super respect and admire and are really inspirational to us.
Awesome. I can't wait.
I'm so excited to have you involved. And I did have one more question before we left.
Okay.
We're doing a poll here, and I'm curious, what's your favorite thing to touch?
What's my favorite thing to touch? Oh, boy.
Friend?
A friend. You know when you have like beans or lentils, like dried beans?
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Touching dried lentils.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
Like sticking your hand in them.
I can feel that vicariously through your thoughts.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the Mediterranean in me.
Dried lentils. Well, Yael, thank you so much. And I'm so excited again to have you. And I can't wait for everybody to share this.
Wonderful.
Okay. All right. Bye.